Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Jessica. In July of 2025, we returned to live in Spain for the second time. Well, technically, it's my third time and Brian's second time, and I'm hoping that the third time is the charm.
Welcome to our new YouTube channel and our first video. We've recently bought an affordable house in a pueblo in Andalusia. It's called Rute, and it's about an hour from our beloved Malaga city, where we lived for 2 years and 8 months. Of course, we would love to be back in
Mm.
Malaga, but buying a home in Rute gives us the fantastic option of owning something and living rent-free and mortgage-free.
Definitely going for financial freedom here. But first, let's take it back to the very beginning. I caught the Spain bug when in 2005 I had the amazing opportunity to live in Rota, Spain for 3 years as a former military spouse. My ex husband was in the US Navy and we took orders there. We had to live on the base as there was free housing in abundance available on the base. But I wasn't one of those types who only stayed on the base and only shopped on the base and only talked to people on the base. The base is situated between the towns of Rota and El Puerto de Santa Maria in the Cádiz province. During those 3 years, I immersed myself as much as possible, traveled a lot throughout Spain and in the rest of Europe. I formally studied Spanish through the University of Maryland on the base, and I had a local Spanish profesora from Jerez de la Frontera. My profesora was amazing, and I'll never forget her. I learned so much from her, and she is definitely the reason that I was able to do so well with learning Spanish. Then in 2008, we departed Spain for the US with our four pets in tow. We had three cats and one dog. The dog and one of the cats I had brought with us when we moved to Spain. And then during my time at the base, I volunteered at the Rota Animal Welfare League and had adopted two more cats during that time. So, fast forward a few years and some life changes later.
She meets me, I meet Jessica in 2012, and we started dating. And then in 2014, we decided to get married. We discussed my desire to live abroad someday, and she was always talking about Spain this and Spain that. So in 2017, we traveled to Spain. I traveled for the first time with Jessica, and I finally got to experience firsthand what she had been telling me all of these years: the ambience, the climate, the beaches, the food, the summer cloudless, very blue sky of Cadiz, and in Spain in general. We decided that once my sons were done with high school, we could someday try moving to Spain. That would just so happen to be in 2021. We were in the middle of a global pandemic, as you're probably aware of, and remote work was in full swing. During the pandemic, around May 2020, we started to put together a plan. We wrote it down for how we would go about doing this. We'd have to sell the condo in Pennsylvania where we were living, get out of our leased car contract, had to donate unwanted items, we had to ship a pallet of boxes to Spain. Bottom line, summer of 2021, we requested the Spanish visa, non-lucrative visa, or NLV, via the consulate in New York City, and we got approved. I actually made a video about this. I'll share the link below, although it's a few years old, so it's not entirely
Some of the
accurate.
information is probably out of date by now. But regarding the location in Spain, I knew it had to be in Andalusia. As much as I enjoyed the area where I used to live in Rota and El Puerto de Santa Maria, I had also done a lot of research on other coastal areas of southern Spain. And Malaga City became very attractive, for many reasons. Great airport, a bigger airport, public transportation, lots of restaurants, entertainment options, just to name a few things. Brian left his corporate job of about 20 years.
Yep.
We said a see you later, not a goodbye, to our family and friends in Pennsylvania, had a nice little going away party, and then we arrived in Malaga in September of 2021 with our three cats in tow. I love that cats are so easy to transport. We flew on Lufthansa Airlines out of Newark, New Jersey, connected in Frankfurt, Germany, and then on to Malaga. They only allowed one cat per person in the cabin with us. So our third cat, the young one, we decided to put him in the cargo area. The other two were a lot older. Jasmine, who was 20 years old at the time, this was her second move to Spain, as she was with me when I moved to Spain the first time in 2005. We had Riley, who was originally adopted as a kitten from Rota, from the Rota Animal Welfare League on the base. She was coming back home to her country. And we had Arturo, who was about 3 or 4 at the time. Uh, Funny side story with Jasmine, she was so old that her microchip was no longer compliant with present day ISO standards. So we had to implant a second microchip in her for the import export. I just want to say, do not leave your pets behind, folks. Where there is a will, there is a way. With proper planning and saving money, you can do it too. So while I was in the US, I painstakingly reviewed many listings on Idealista, looked at all the photos on the listings, and it gave me an idea of what we really wanted and needed in a rental. In fact, I want to make a separate video about that. Once we were in Malaga, I began to contact some of the saved favorites on Idealista that I was looking at while I was still in the US. We found a long-term lease in a record 2 days.
It's crazy.
We got extremely lucky. I don't know how it happened, but we had a wonderful landlady who didn't care that we had non-Spanish job contract, foreign income, nor did she mind that we had 3 cats, and she was an animal lover herself. We ended up living in the lower part of the Teatinos neighborhood. I call it Lower Teatinos. It's near the Ciudad de la Justicia metro station.
We both loved the area. It was really well connected with bus and metro to the center of the city, as well as the Malaga City beaches. It was very easy to access those beaches via public transport. The area was calm and away from all the tourists in the centro. So it was predominantly a Spanish local neighborhood, which we appreciated a lot. It had several grocery stores, pharmacies, bakeries, restaurants. Everything was very convenient. Gave me a chance to work on my Spanish because there was not a lot of English spoken. We made a lot of friends in Malaga during our time there, and we traveled a lot throughout Spain.
Around late March of 2024, we started talking about our future, our financial future, especially, and some tough decisions that we had to make. My heart wanted Spain, but our brains, my brain, were telling us that we should go back to the US. We decided to move back to the US for what we thought were many good reasons, the right
Mm.
reasons, the responsible reasons, and it was sure painful to leave Malaga and Spain in general. We worked on shutting down our life in Malaga, selling our used car, notifying our landlord that we would be leaving and ending our lease, saying hasta luego to our friends here, selling and donating items that we had accumulated in the apartment, shipping a pallet of items back to the US, the same
Mhm.
items more or less that we had shipped to Spain. We've spent a decent amount on shipping things over the past few years, but it's worth it. They're irreplaceable things.
Yeah, and I mentioned before, but we're from Philadelphia area in a small town called Lansdale in Montgomery County. But we decided that when we were coming back, we would give Phoenix a try. We had vacation there in 2020, and we really liked it. Plus, there was a job opportunity for me.
I liked Arizona a lot. The sunshine, the beautiful desert landscapes, the jagged mountains everywhere, the palm trees, the cacti. Heck, I even liked the heat because it meant a very long pool season, warm water in the pool, not to mention that Arizona is on point with all their air conditioning. Winter in Arizona was fabulous. It was perfect and even better than a Malaga winter.
Yep.
Um, we only use the heat like maybe 2 or 3 times. In many ways, the Phoenix Scottsdale area reminded me of southern Spain a little bit with all the sunshine. There's Spanish street names, an abundance of Spanish style homes, and like I said before, the landscapes and the sunshine. So we decided to give it a try, and that's where we had been living for the past year. And I still maintain that Arizona is a great place. Has a lot of things to offer, but for us, it just didn't feel like home. And we felt it kind of hard to make friends. We felt a little bit isolated and constantly thought about Malaga and all the friends we left behind there, as well as our family and friends in Pennsylvania.
So I think this is a good place for us to conclude part one of this story. You'll have to stay tuned to hear about part two. So please like and subscribe to our channel and follow along with us on our adventures here in Spain and elsewhere. We want to share videos on YouTube to help other people who might be interested in traveling to or moving to Spain. If we can do it, you can
You
too.
can too. Thanks everybody for watching our video. Thanks for, taking the time to come to our new channel, and we hope that we can put out more helpful and enjoyable content. Thank you.